Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I know I'm a little late on this, but I wanted to talk about my 2023 favorites. Some of these products came out in 2023 and some of them didn't. So I'm just going to talk about what I've been using, what I was reaching for a lot, and just what I've been loving. Some of these products are not new to 2023. It's just products that I've been reaching for and loving, but some of the products did come out in 2023. So if you want to know what I've been loving, what are my favorites, what are still my favorites, what are probably going to continue to be my favorites, keep on watching. The products that I'm going to be showing you are products that it's like beauty, and it's mainly beauty and like fragrance. So if you guys are interested in like my favorite body care, my favorite skincare, things like that, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do a video like that for you guys. But this is just like beauty and fragrance. So we have a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. All right. So I'm just going to go in the order of how I do my makeup, which is like skin prep, primer, all of that. And then we will go into makeup. For primer, the primers that had just my heart for 2023 is, you probably see me use this quite a bit in like so many videos. This is the Dominique Blur and Moisture Serum Primer. I love this so much. And if you have not tried Dominique Cosmetics yet, I recommend you do. She has so many good products. But out of all the products that I tried, this is my favorite. And this is something that I can see myself repurchasing. This primer is just so good. I love it so much. It gives you moisture. It just gives you like plump to your skin, but it also does blur. So if that's what you're looking for, try it out. Power Grip. I know everyone has this in their favorites, and it's for a good reason. So I have this one. I also have the pink niacinamide one. I have a smaller version of that. I like them both. I can see myself repurchasing possibly both. I think I do like the pink one more. I just used this one, I believe, yesterday, and I was trying to compare the two, and there's hardly a difference, but I still feel that the pink one just glides on a little bit better. That can just be in my head. They could be exactly the same. I don't know, but they're both really, really good. So if you're looking for a good gripping primer that's affordable, e.l.f. got you. If you just want something to like plump up your skin, give you a little bit of moisture, a little bit of a glow, I recommend this. This is a dupe for the Glow Recipe. I believe it's their watermelon. Oh yeah, this is watermelon, so I'm pretty sure again it's a dupe, but it's like their watermelon like serum. This is a good dupe for that. Ingredients wise, I'm not saying it's a dupe. I'm not saying it's the same. I'm not saying it's going to do the exact same for your skin. This is saying 93% natural ingredients. Glow Serum Primer, hydrating and smooth base with watermelon and niacinamide. It's good. And I want to say that if you're comparing them like with like the texture and just like applying it, it's basically the same. So this is from Essence. It was sold out for a while. It was really hard. It was really hard to find it. Ulta does now have it in store. Every single time I go, I see it that they have it. So I think the hype died down a bit. It does have like pump. You can pump it out. It is one of the primers that I reach for a lot, especially when I don't have time to do my full skincare routine. I will go ahead and reach for this because I feel like I'm getting a primer and some skincare all in one. So I love it. And I didn't do like, this isn't like my top 2, my top 4. This is just like literally everything that I've been grabbing for. So it's going to be a lot, and I'm sorry. So this is a bit newer to my collection, but it is a product that I reach for almost nonstop. I love it so much. It's from Saie, and it is their Glow Super Gel. I have it in the shade Star Glow, and then I also have it in like their limited edition, like more bronzier shade, but not the darkest one that they have. There's like a middle one. I think it's called Sun Glow or something like that. I don't remember, but this is the one I actually reach for a lot. That one I'll probably reach for and I'm saving for like in the summertime. But I just love how it doesn't make your skin look super glowy. It just gives you just that little bit of life. You can wear it on its own if you're, just need a little bit of like brightness to your skin and glow. It doesn't make you look greasy. It doesn't make you look like a tin man. It's just so good. So I can see myself purchasing the full size. I love this stuff. It's so good. 2 more things that some might consider as like skin prep primer. Is this. So this is more going to be for your like, you can obviously wear it whenever you want, but for me, I reach for this more in the summertime. My face never gets as tan as the rest of my body, even if I like go out in the sun and tan. I always have sunscreen all over my body, but my body will still tan. My face, I'm like, I wear makeup every day, so I'm washing it. I wash my face 2 times a day. I do like liquid exfoliators, and like, you know, things like that, like mask and things like that. So I feel like, but anyways, yeah, if you're a person that like self tan or just, again, it's just naturally darker and your face isn't matching, this is a really nice product. This has been out forever, but it just got super hyped because of the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops. So this came out as like a dupe. You know, people were saying that it's like a good alternative to that. You can use it on its own. You can mix it in with more moisturizer. It is called Lumi Glotion. So it's like a nice bronzy, like, you know, it's just really bronzy. And so it is a really nice product because it just gives you a nice beautiful bronze, a beautiful glow. And there's other shades as well. So this is just going to be too dark for you. They do have a like champagne and more of like a pinkier tone one. So they do have 2 other shades. This one is the darkest, but I was never interested in it until it started coming out as like the Drunk Elephant dupe. Then I was like, oh my God, I never thought about that. So that's when I bought it, and I like it. Just to stay in that category, this is newer. And so I'm not going to say that this is my 2023 favorite, but I have been reaching for it almost every single day since I've tried it. There isn't a video uploaded. So again, it's not my 1-year favorite. I can't say I've been reaching for it forever. I might discover something eventually that I don't like about it, but I have been reaching for it for a while. Like, it's been on my face for like, I don't even know how many times I reach for it. Like, we usually, even if I'm not wearing any makeup, I'm reaching for this and I'm putting it on. So this is going to be another like Drunk Elephant bronzing drops dupe. This is the bronzing serum from Physicians Formula, the Butter Glow Maru like line. And again, it's just their bronzing serum. So I would say this is going to be more liquidy than your glow lotion, but I believe the bronzing drops, they might be the same texture. I'm not sure. I did order a Sephora favorites kit, and it does have a mini version of the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops, so I will finally be able to use the original and compare with all the other dupes that's out there, because I don't have nothing to compare it to. I never tried the Drunk Elephant ones, but this is a really nice product. You can use it on your own. You can mix it in with foundation, your primer, your moisturizer. The list goes on. So I do recommend it. It smells like summer. So I did want to talk about it and shout it out. So it's kind of a cheat, but I've been using it almost every single day and I love it. So don't count it as a 2023 favorite. Just count it as like a now favorite, you know? And then of course, the one and only e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Yes. Trash truck is coming. Dogs are going to bark in probably 3, 2, 1. So this, I got it in, I have mine in a shade 3. I love this so much. I do have the Charlotte Tilbury one. I have it in 2 different shades and I love that one. But ever since e.l.f. came out with this one, there is literally no reason for me to repurchase the Charlotte Tilbury one. There might be a reason that you might find that you like the high end better than the dupe, but I don't think I will ever spend that much money again on the original. This is where it's at. And there's more shades. So the doe foot is big. I love it. I feel like I'm not going through it as much because I'm bouncing back and forth between the Charlotte Tilbury because that's expensive and I don't want it to go to waste. So if this one ends up expiring, it's more affordable to repurchase than the Charlotte Tilbury. So I feel like probably that's the only reason why I'm not like halfway through it. But it's so good. I don't use this as like my everyday foundation or skin tint. I use it just as like under makeup to just give me a little bit more of a glow. You can use it on its own. I think maybe once or twice I used it on its own. It's okay, but I do reach for it more as like a under the skin luminizer. You get a little bit of coverage too, so that's nice. Let's go into my foundations. Foundations, it's not as crazy long. So my favorite foundations that stole my heart in 2023. Giorgio Armani. It's not new. It's been around forever, but I am almost finished with it. But when everything settles, I think I'm like down to here. So it's just literally like basically my everyday foundation. When I first bought it, I was saving it for like when I go out with my husband and just, you know, special occasions because it's a high-end foundation. But I'm like, this is gonna expire. It's probably already expired. but I'm gonna finish it. Okay, I'm gonna finish it. So I'm like, you know what, let me just get my money's worth and use it before I have to throw it out. So mine is in the shade 5.9. I think it's the perfect shade, and as you can see, it's crusty and dusty because I freaking use it like crazy. I don't know if I would buy it again. It was a nice foundation. It was, everyone, like to this day, everyone talks about this foundation. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna buy it. They do have a smaller version that I think if I do buy it again, I will buy the smaller version, because with how many foundations I have in my collection, I don't go through it as quickly, you know? So I think I will repurchase it, but just a smaller version. But I actually have it on today, so I love it so much. This is my favorite like skin tint serum, I guess you can say, from the drugstore. It's the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. As you can see, I'm halfway through this one already. I love this so much. I already went through one whole bottle of this. So this one is my second bottle. And Lord, I love this so much. It's seriously my favorite. And when I just need something quick, I don't want to think about it, I usually just reach for this or the Giorgio Armani one. So I love it so much. This one is more of my winter shade. So this one's 3-4. And then 5-6 I use for the summer, but I love it so much. And it dries down enough where I don't feel like I have to set it either. Like I don't like wearing skin tints that I have to set, because I'm like, if I'm gonna have to set it, I might as well just put on a foundation and get more coverage, you know? I don't know, but it's a good one. This is another one that I've been reaching for. So I do have the Mario one, and I thought I was going to be reaching for that one like crazy, and I do like it, but it hasn't like stole my heart the way that this one has. So if I do want something a little bit more full coverage, a little bit more fuller glam, I reach for the House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. This one's in the shade C72, I believe, but yeah, I love this foundation. I have the concealer as well, and I do like the concealer. I don't think that it's like, I like it enough to be in my 2023 favorites, because I don't reach for it enough for it to be in my favorites. But the foundation, yes, again, if my foundations are looking like this, they're being used and abused. Something real quick about this, in case anyone gets confused, I think most people know, but this comes with a dropper, not a pump. The pump I bought off of Amazon. Concealers. Tried to reach for different concealers because, again, I have a big collection. I have several makeup tours on my channel if you want to check those out. But the ones that truly, truly have my heart, that I will keep repurchasing. I don't have it with me right now, but the Joa Serum Concealer, it comes in like the, you gotta twist it and it has a sponge. That one is my favorite, and I think I finished it up in 2023. That one just has my heart. I do want to repurchase it, but I'm trying to get through more concealers first, because even though I purchased more concealers since I finished it up, I just know that that one I love so much that if I buy it, I'm going to just keep reaching for that and not use all the other ones. You know what I mean? So I'm trying so hard to hold off, but it's still on my radar and I will repurchase. But these are other concealers that also have my heart that I can see myself repurchasing. So the Radiant Cream Concealer from Neutrogena. This, I have to say, is my favorite concealer from the drugstore. Everyone's talking about the NYX serum one, and like, I don't even know. Some people love the e.l.f. hydrating one. This one is my favorite, okay? It's just creamy. It is a bit luminous, so if you don't like that under your under eye, you may not like it. I love it so much. I love it so much. So I do have the NARS Radiant Concealer, and I will say that this one is actually more radiant than that one, but I think that this one will probably be the closest dupe to that one, but it's slightly more radiant. So this one's an actual radiant concealer, where the NARS Radiant one is not that radiant. But yeah, I just love it so much. And like, there's still product in here, but I can tell that it's getting low, which makes me happy, but it's a good one. I like it. And then for high end, I have two. I have the Clinique Even Better All Over Skin, or All Over Concealer and Eraser. I don't use the sponge. I tried it out. It sucks. But the actual the actual concealer, I just love so much. The reason I love this concealer so much is because it gives me coverage. It's creamy. It's blendable. It's just great for every single day. But also, I don't have to set it if I don't want to. Now, don't get me wrong. It will crease a very little bit. I will just tap that out whenever it starts creasing, and then it's good for a couple more hours. So it's not a concealer that's going to break apart or be super creasy and just melt away. Like, it's just a concealer that stays very well on its own, for me anyways. And I love concealers like that, because when I'm doing very light makeup, I don't always want to set my face with powder, because I feel like powder is just a very big giveaway that you have makeup, you look dry, you look sometimes cakey, sometimes more creasy. I just don't like to reach for powder on days that I just want to look very light and fresh. So this is a concealer that I reach for. The Xoxo one is another one that's like that, which is why it has my heart. And in a chokehold, it's even better than this one, where it's just light. It gives life to your under eye, and it doesn't crease on me. So I love that one for that reason. So Kylie Cosmetics. This is a new one that came out in 2023. And now it's on the floor. I love this one so much. I did get it in a lighter shade because I do want a brighter under eye, which I have it on today actually. And this one is in the shade 2.5 Neutral. It's just another good concealer. It's creamy, it's hydrating, it creases a little bit, so it's not one that I can go with without powder. I have to set my under eyes. But for 2023, besides the concealers that I already showed you and talked about, this is another one that I actually been reaching for a lot this year since buying it. So if you have not tried Kylie Cosmetics Power Plush Longwear Concealer, I recommend you do. They did just come out with a foundation that I'm like kind of interested in. I still want to try Ariana Grande's Rem Beauty foundation, because I heard that one's really good too. So again, I'm trying to behave. I'm trying not to buy every single thing that I'm interested in. So those will probably be later in the year purchases, but concealer, yes. Let's talk about cream products before moving into powder, because I usually put all my cream products before setting. So again, just to keep me organized, I'm moving in the order of me doing my makeup. So for cream bronzer, I have 3 that I've been reaching for this past year, 2023. The Persona Bronze Multi-Stick in the shade Dune. Love it. I do keep the little, like, I don't know what you call these things. I do keep this on because I heard that if your product comes with it, to leave it on, because this is going to keep your product from drying out. So as you can see, if it's wind down, like, there's still a good amount of product left, but you can see that it's been used. If I roll it up, I don't even know how much product I have left. Okay, so this is all the product that is left. So I probably would say that I went through half of it, or almost half of it. I love this. Literally, I use it almost every single day. Like, almost every single day I reach for this. It's just a good one. So I do try to take a break and use other ones in my collection. And when I film, I try to use other ones. But when I'm just getting ready for work and need something quick, this is the one I'm usually grabbing. It's creamy, it's blendable, has enough pigment, not too much pigment. It's just perfect. So this is the Chanel, what are you? Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. And this one's in their original. It looks gross because of the brush hairs shedding in it. It's not real like human hair, it's just my brush hair. Again, I do keep the protector or whatever on it to keep it from drying out, so I recommend that if your product comes with it, keep it. So you can see there's a good dent in here. So for the amount of times that I reach for this, I also reach for this. I just love this as well, and I can see myself repurchasing it. Honestly, I was like, because I have the Charlotte Tilbury one here too, because that's another one that I've been reaching for a lot. And I'm like, they're both very similar in price. If anything, I think maybe Charlotte Tilbury might be a little bit more. I don't know. But when I looked up the prices, they're very, very similar. So it's expensive, okay? But I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just love how natural it looks. And when I just want just like a little glow, a little sun-kissed look, it's just what I reach for. And I kept hearing so many people talk about it, and I'm like, but if you want a good dupe, ColourPop, their Body Soul, I think, line is a good dupe for this. They have different shades too. So I do recommend looking into that if you want something similar but a cheaper version. ColourPop. Their Body Soul one. Charlotte Tilbury. This had mixed reviews, I feel, and I think this came out in 2022, not in 2023, if I'm mistaken. But again, I just have been reaching for it a lot, and you can see it's not as used up as the Chanel one, but you can see that there's some, like, I don't even know if you can tell, but it's been used, okay? It's been used. It's like a cream to powder type of bronzer, which is why I love it so much. I do reach for this more in the summertime though, so I will say that this one is a little bit darker. So this is in the shade 2 medium. The one, I think it's in 3 shades if I'm not mistaken. The lighter shade looked too light for me, and then the darker shade of course was too dark. So this one is the one that I will probably stick to, but I just reach for a little bit more in the summertime. You do have a beautiful mirror too that comes with it. So yeah, I don't know if I'll repurchase it just because I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'll repurchase it. I feel like I will. It's one of my favorites. I like that it's cream to powder, so I don't have to set it. It lasts a good amount of time on me. You do not need a lot though, okay? It is pigmented, and if you are not familiar with cream bronzers, maybe just do something more easier first, because I don't think this is a beginner's cream bronzer. You know what I mean? Like, this can look very patchy and muddy if you over apply, but if you just go boop and blend, it's beautiful, but it's not new user friendly, if that makes sense. When it comes to blush, I want to say something that's been in my collection for a bit that I really reached for a lot in 2023 is this stick blush and illuminator from Wander Beauty. Oh my god, this shade, what shade is this? I don't even know. Bear, I think it's called. It's just so good. It's just like a nice everyday shade, and when I tell you that I reached for this like crazy, like look at that. That's the luminizer, and I would just put my finger and dab it onto my skin. I love the luminizer as well. I love it, love it, love it so much, but it's so good. So I can't see myself repurchasing the shade when I'm done with it because it's good. These blushes are newer to me, but I will say that my obsession over them is just, it just, like, all the other cream blushes, I would use it and then I'm like, okay, move on to the next, use it, move on to the next. These are the ones that I reach for over and over and over since they came into my collection. So they are not a full 2023 favorite because I have not had them the full 2023, but they have very quickly became my favorites, and I have reached for them over and over and over again. So this one's in the shade Sweet Peach. There's another shade that came with it. This is very new into my collection, but I have been reaching for these blushes over and over and over again. And again, it's very similar to the Wander Beauty. So whichever one's cheaper, but they're so good. I love them. So another one is the Say blushes. I have been reaching for Chili. Chili is more of like a mauve, plummy, like winter plum shade. It's just so good. It's called Chili, and it's the perfect shade because it just looks like you're chilly in the winter. But this one's in the shade Rosy. So I love them all, but Chili is the one that's in my everyday makeup that I've been reaching for a lot lately. This one's a mini, and I do recommend if you can get the mini, just get the minis because you get multiple shades. And I mean, if you don't have many in your collection, you might go through it, but full size, I mean, come on. So these are also been my faves. My newest faves, again, these just came out and you're probably gonna hate me, but I've been reaching for them like crazy. And to be honest, these might not have even came out in 2023. They could have came out after 2023. I honestly don't remember if they came out like at the end of December or early January, but you need to run out and try these. These are the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush. So just like a current fave right now, it is these blushes. I've been reaching for these shades every single day. My favorites are all of them. The only one that I have not tried yet is this one, which is the Coral Crush. I have not tried this one yet, I don't think. But these ones I have. So the shade Bronze Bombshell is such a beautiful shade. This is going to be gorgeous in the summertime, but it's also like a nice like terracotta shade for like the fall and just when you want something warm. It's so good. They are very pigmented. A lot of their shades are being compared to the Rare Beauty blushes, and they are pigmented, but I wouldn't say they're as pigmented as Rare Beauty, but they got pigment. Like, you still only need a dot, okay? Just a dot. If you want to work your way up, you can, but do not be smearing this all over your face because you're going to be blending down to your knees, okay? So if you compare them side by side, Rare Beauty might have them by like a hair, but they're pigmented. You've been warned. This one is in the shade Dirty Rose. I bought this originally because I was like, this shade here that is called Peach Perfect, you can see how it's a little bit lighter, and I was like, this is not going to show up on me. This is like super, super, super fair skin probably. It's not going to show up. It's not even super peachy. It has a peach undertone, but it's not what I think of as a peachy blush. But this one here is a little bit darker, so I was like, that's going to be a nice everyday pigment, okay? The pigment is there. It is not as light as you may think it is, and so just a little dot will get me where I want it to be, but like if I put too much, it's not as barely there as you may think, you know? This one is, so if I do want a barely there blush and I don't want to be, you know, something neutral, I went out and got it because when I saw how pigment this one was, I was like, this one may show up, and it does. So this one is Peach Perfect. It's still going to be, I think, perfect for super fair skin tones, but if you want like a barely there blush, like for me and my skin tone, it's this one. So these are so good, okay? And if you are into pinks, there's more shades. I think there's 3 other shades that I do not have and that I do not have. I just bought my like the ones that really, really intrigued me. This one is the shade Pinky Promise. This one's being compared to Happy, which I have that shade coming soon. So it's in the Sephora favorites. So that's why I bought it, because there's so many things in there that I'm like, I want to try. And I've been trying to get my hands on the Happy shade forever. And whenever I go to buy it online, during a sale, of course, it sells out. I go to the stores, it's never there. So the fact that this Sephora kit has so many products in there that I've been trying to find and use makes me happy. So the bronzing drops, the Happy shade from Rare Beauty, I'm like, yes. But anyways, yeah. So this is really being compared to the shade Happy from Rare Beauty, but it's like a nice cool tone pink shade. They have like a super hot pink shade too. But yeah, I just love these so much. I wear them almost every single day since I bought them. They're good, okay? I've been using these almost every single day until I got these. And now these just boop, kicked everything out the window. I just love them so much, okay? I love them so much. That is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys just had a chill day and you needed a long video to watch, because this video is super long. It's gonna take me a while to edit it, so bye.